We all know that one person, the one who just seems to glide through life. They're calm, they're focused, and they achieve these incredible things without all the stress and chaos that seems to trap the rest of us. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover their secrets. We are going to learn how to become dangerously productive.
But before we dive in, I want you to ask yourself a really honest question. Are you busy or are you actually productive? Because let me tell you, they are not the same thing. One road leads to burnout and just spinning your wheels, while the other, that one leads to a life of real, intentional progress.
All right, let's really break this down. Over here, you've got the busy person, right? They are constantly in motion, just buzzing with this frantic energy, trying to juggle a million things at once. And from the outside, it looks like they're getting a lot done. But then you have the truly productive person. They're the total opposite. They're calm, they're centered, they actually seem to be doing less, but every single move they make is purposeful. It's all about moving them closer to their goals. The secret to becoming that person? Well, it comes down to a few key ideas, starting with one that might honestly feel a little backwards at first.
And here it is. We're calling it the performance paradox. It's this crazy idea that to achieve more, you actually have to learn to do less. Now hold on. This isn't an excuse to be lazy, not at all. It's about being incredibly strategic. It's about rethinking what productivity even means.
See, true productivity isn't just about being active. It's about efficiency. It's about how well your actions create the result you're aiming for, your product. And that product, it could be anything. It could be passing an exam, getting that promotion, or something even bigger, like just living a life that feels intentional. So the real goal isn't to just do more stuff. It's to create more product.
And this is the absolute key takeaway. To get more product, you often need to do less. Less of the fluff, less of the busy work that makes you feel good, but doesn't actually move the needle. And doing less frees you up for something most of us totally neglect: maintenance.
Think about it like you're in a long-distance car race. The busy person, with that short-term mindset, they just floor it. They drive that car until the engine literally catches on fire. Sure, they might look like they're winning for a lap or two, but they are absolutely going to burn out before the race is even close to over. The dangerously productive person, though, they know it's a long race. They know they have to maintain the car for the entire journey. They're playing the long game.
And I want you to really let this sink in. You aren't just the driver in this race. You are the vehicle, you are the driver, and you are the fuel. You're the whole shebang. So what does that mean? It means things like rest, planning, and taking care of yourself aren't luxuries you get to when you have time. No way. They are the essential pit stops, the core maintenance you need to actually reach your destination. Skipping them is the fastest way to break down on the side of the road.
Okay, this brings us right to our second big idea, and it's a trap that so many of us fall into without even knowing it. It's called the lure of the obvious. And this is where we just burn through our most precious resources, time and energy, on things that don't matter. So here's the trap. It's so simple, it's sneaky. We get hooked on fixing the obvious, easy problems because, it feels productive. It gives us that little hit of accomplishment. Maybe you've done this. You spend hours setting up this super complex system of productivity apps, right? It feels so efficient. But then one little app has an update, the whole thing crumbles, and you realize you were just polishing the chrome. You were fixing an obvious problem, not the one that really mattered, which was probably just figuring out what's important in the first place.
The way out of this trap is a classic for a reason. It's the Pareto principle. You've probably heard of it as the 80-20 rule. And basically, it just says that for a lot of things in life, about 80% of your results will come from just 20% of your efforts. So what does that mean for us? It means a tiny fraction of the things on our to-do list are going to deliver the huge majority of our actual progress.
Which means you have to get really good at asking yourself this one critical question. What are my key levers? What are the vital few tasks in my work, in my life, that are going to generate most of the results I want? Your job is not to do everything. Your job is to find and nail that critical 20%.
And here's a super practical way to do this. It's called the or not and framework. Next time a new task or opportunity pops up, stop yourself. Don't just automatically think, okay, I'll do this and everything else. Instead, force yourself to think, I can do this or that other thing. You have to ask, what am I going to sacrifice to make this happen? By intentionally choosing what you're willing to give up, this simple little mind shift puts you right back in the driver's seat.
All right, on to our final principle. And this one challenges a really popular idea out there in the world of self-improvement. Let's talk about what we're calling the marginal gains fallacy, or as I like to call it, the 1% myth.
We hear it all the time, right? Just get 1% better every day and you'll see these massive compounding gains. And yeah, that can happen. But here's the thing they don't tell you. Making a 1% change can also lead you absolutely nowhere, just kind of bouncing up and down. Or, even worse, it can lead you down a slow 1% decline every single day. So small changes by themselves are no guarantee of improvement.
So what's the secret? What's the difference between those three paths? It's one word: data. You only get that beautiful upward curve of improvement when your little changes are guided by real feedback. You have to measure what actually matters.
And this points out another huge trap. We love to track easy metrics, not the important ones. Think about a student. They might track hours studied. Super easy to log, right? But what's the real goal? It's not to sit in a chair for hours. It's to learn and retain the information. You could be tracking your hours and feeling super productive, all while your actual understanding is going down the drain. So, to get around this, you really need two kinds of metrics. First is your outcome metric. This is the big one. It tells you if you actually hit your goal. Think of it as your final exam score. But you also need a proxy metric. This is your checkpoint along the way, like a score on a practice quiz. Using both of these together gives you a crystal clear picture of whether those 1% changes are actually moving you in the right direction.
Okay, let's put it all together. Let's build your dangerous productivity system. And listen, this isn't about some fancy new app or a complicated planner. It's a mindset. It's a philosophy built on these three core principles we just walked through.
The entire system really boils down to these three keys. Number one, you have to embrace the performance paradox. Do less to achieve more, and start seeing rest as a core part of your strategy. Number two, you got to escape the obvious target trap. Be ruthless. Focus only on that 20% of your work that's going to give you 80% of the payoff. And number three, avoid the marginal gains fallacy. Yes, make small improvements, but only when they're guided by data that measures what really, truly matters.
You know, mastering these ideas is what separates the people who are just busy from the people who are genuinely effective. It's how you become that calm, focused person who seems to make progress almost effortlessly. So the final question, really, it's for you. How are you going to apply these principles, starting today, to stop just being busy and start being truly, dangerously productive?
If this gave you a new way to think about your own productivity, do us a favor and hit that like button. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, for more insights just like this, make sure you subscribe to The Wise Cut.